Alright, so I am moving things around, and these are all my books. They need to go on these two shelves. I'm not sure they're all going to fit, but we will try. This is only a temporary setup because I want to get some like long floor-to-ceiling white bookshelves for the other room, but they're going to go in here for now. And so I know that there's a couple piles I want to make. I want to make like a fiction literature pile, romance pile, nonfiction pile, and then of course sort everything. And then my art books, and my language learning books, and my religious books. And then I want to sort everything by like if I've read it or if it's to be read, because I want to put my TBR pile separately off the shelves, like on top properly. And so I can work on getting those done. And yeah, let's see. First step is organizing these into actual piles where they belong. Alright, so this is the temporary bookcase setup. That's my cat, one of them, one out of, well, 6 now. Let's see. And so up in the top left corner are the books I started that I need to finish up there. And then the other 2 piles are physical books I have that are to be read. So I need to like work on that. I have to read those books. Over here we have the religious section, all my Pequeño books. At the bottom are some art books. There's more art books. Edgar Allan Poe. This backpack in the way. These are books I've read and loved, as well as some children's books, and then a Chinese book because I had to put that somewhere. Up here are a couple of paperback romances. Most of my romances are on, I think I don't have a Kindle, but like most of them I get from Amazon. So I don't have that many paperbacks. So most of my romances are ebooks. And then here are some fiction books that I've read and loved and decided to keep. And actually I need to get the next. So Molokai was such a great book for me, and he has a 3rd book coming out that I have to get. I also have to finish getting the rest of the books connected to the Russian concubine series. I think it's just one more about her mother meeting her father. So I have to get those. Down there, I want to collect more of Nabokov's work. I have a little challenge I'm doing where I'm going to collect all his work. And then I want to collect Paulo Coelho's work in Spanish as well. And then over here we got some manga and some language books. And then up here are the sci-fi and fantasy books that are mostly my boyfriend's, except the Hobbit collection, which is mine. And that's my current temporary setup. Yeah. So it's not ideally how I want it, but until I get the other room cleared out, this is how it's going to be. Rose. Hi, Rose. The thing that I don't like about Sudoku is that you can put any type of reading in there, including video games. And I don't know how they calculate that. I mean, it's less than if you read like a page in a book. But for a reading challenge, I personally don't like that. But I mean, it's also a language challenge, so that's why they do it. And so I just like updated my reading score because I finished chapter 7, so I'm on chapter 8 of Pequeño, País, which is a group read for the language learners forum. Please excuse the mess behind me. I'm still cleaning and unpacking. Unpacking and moving stuff upstairs. Moving stuff around. But, so I got to chapter 7, and I'm trying to do 7 chapters a week so I can finish a book in the month, and it's actually going pretty well. So I've been slowly reading in Spanish, and then the beginning of this year I started doing more intense reading in Spanish, and I think it's paying off because I just read like a lot just now, and that's fantastic because if I can read multiple books a month in Spanish, that's going to help, right? Now if I can just speak it more, then we're good. But I was just updating my Sudoku pages, and I think I'm doing all right. No, it's only like the 8th of September. And the first guy's got like 400 something pages. I'm like, what the heck? And I go and it's like all comics and video games. And I'm like, I mean, okay, yeah, you can count video games and all that, but I feel like I should stop comparing myself to other people and what they're doing. I should focus on myself, basically. But I feel like it's not really intensive reading. Because I played video games in Spanish before. It doesn't, like Pokemon, I don't know. Anyways, I gotta stop being bitter. People do what they want to do. I just don't like that reading challenge lets you do video games. But, oh my god, there's cats behind me. But yeah. So I'm on chapter 8 now of Pequeño, país, which is the story of this boy growing up in, oh my god, am I going to mispronounce the African country? It's during Civil War in, oh my god, I'm going to mispronounce it. Okay, well, I will correct myself later. But it's basically he lives through a civil war. Yeah, so far it's not that difficult to understand. It's just him still as a child, or a young boy, so nothing, like the war hasn't started yet, but we're building up to it. And then aside from that, with Spanish, I'm still reading my smutty sci-fi, which is also pretty easy to read, more or less. And I finished listening to Binti. I finished that, actually, I think a couple of days ago while I was cleaning. So it's a short audiobook, which, I enjoyed, but, I don't really think sci-fi is going to be my genre. And then, actually, let me show you. Hold on. I'm going to show you the book that my boyfriend's making me read, because he reads sci-fi, because, he's a dude. So, my boyfriend does not think that SciFi Smut counts as sci-fi, so he's telling me to read this beast. Yeah, I got 20 pages in, and it's not smut. So I'm trying to work on that as well. And I don't know if I'm going to continue Binti or not, because I did like it, and it was pretty unique that we have this African character, and it's written by a Nigerian woman, so my face is all red because of the stupid lights. But it's actually, so you get a lot of African culture in there, which you don't see in sci-fi. And you don't really see much in general unless you go looking for it. So the fact that Binti has become so popular, and I forgot what award it won, Nubla or something. I don't remember, I'll have to look it up again. But, it's not bad. It's a little novella, so the audiobook is only 2 hours. It's very short. I may continue it, may not, because again, I don't know if sci-fi is really my thing too much. Probably can take it or leave it at this point. But it's not bad. If you like sci-fi, I would recommend giving it a shot. It's only a 2-hour audiobook. The only thing is with that, I feel like it needs to be longer, because we got to a scene where we introduced some characters, and then immediately after something happened to those characters that was kind of bad, and I didn't really care. So, I feel like it needs to be a little longer, but I think the author's written other works that might be longer. I'm not sure. I haven't looked too deeply into it. So aside from that, what else am I reading? Just reading more SciFi Smut. I need to find a new audiobook, though. I was going to read Margaret Atwood's The Handmaid's Tale, but I want to get a physical book of that. I don't think I want to listen to it. Yeah, so I have to figure out what's my next audiobook. I finished a book in Italian. Yep, I started in February, and it took me until September, and it's only 140 pages, but I finished it. That's kind of the thing with reading in a foreign language, though. It's so difficult at the beginning, but just recently, after some, kind of intense reading, trying to read a book a month in Spanish, I feel like I made a breakthrough, because I feel like I'm going to finish 2 books this month, at least 2. One's a romance, and one is, general fiction. So I think just pushing yourself to read, however long it takes at the beginning, is worth it. And I've heard people say before, you just gotta push through it and eventually have a breakthrough. It'll just happen. And I didn't really believe that, but it's true. So my first book in Italian, that's not a children's book, is done. I finished it. It's a romance. It's Keith by Paula something. I'll show a cover, but I finished it. Oh my god. And I finished in the month of Todoku, so yes, Todoku. But yeah, so I'm happy that's done. And now I can find something new to read, which is going to be painful and probably take me another 6, 7, 8, 12, 24 months to finish. Alright, so the first 2 weeks of September are over. I finished 5 books. I'm currently reading some others. I finished listening to Binti, which was only a 2-hour audiobook, which I enjoyed, but I felt like it needed more. And I think I've talked about this already. Also finished reading Claimed, which is a sci-fi romance, or as I call them, SciFi Smut. The smut scenes, really good. Really well written, did not hold back, did not sugarcoat any of the language. I appreciate that. It's just it's an instant love story. They've been communicating via dream sharing for months, but you're just told that, you're not shown that. So when they actually meet, it feels like insta love, and definitely for her, because she had no idea what dream sharing was, but he did because he's the alien. So he's possessive and trying to make her see that they're supposed to be together, and it's she's trying to get out of the contract. Basically, these aliens saved Earth, so there's a contract now. They have so these aliens are 95% male in their species. So they saved Earth, and they made a deal where they can go and claim brides. And it's supposed to be some fated, mated lovers kind of thing, because they don't just randomly choose women. They basically find their soulmates and bind themselves together with these women. Our main character, she's so confused. She just finished nursing school. She has family on Earth. She doesn't want to move to this space station and become a bride. But of course, it's true love, so it works out in the end. But it just felt so instant lovey, and so she's giving up her life for a dude, which I don't. She's trying to get out of the contract, and then you're what's she going to get out of it? Even if she does, it's true love, so she's going to go back to him, and it's I don't like instant love, right? I don't. So that was my problem with that. Smut scenes are great, though, but I'm probably not going to continue. Some of the other books in the series sounded interesting, but probably not going to continue. See, it's not the sci-fi element that I don't like. It's the instant love and these alpha alien males. Because I see that seems to be a repeating kind of theme, and I don't mind a little alpha male, alright? But the whole instant love, possessive, you're mine now, deal with it. I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. But I don't like instant love kind of stories to begin with. So the reason I say that seems to be a thing because I read Releasing Rage earlier. It was kind of the same thing. And now I'm reading one of my Spanish books. My romance I'm reading is Contactos, Peligrosos, which is another kind of instant love. Which actually, both that book and Claimed had alien species that are vampire aliens where they drink blood, and I'm I didn't know vampire aliens were a thing. But that's cool. That's fine by me. I don't mind a good vampire story. Book 2 seems like it might be less instant lovey-ish, but for the next book in the Kindred Bride, I don't remember. But the next book after Claimed, I don't know. I'm probably not going to continue it, to be honest. I seem to be a historical romance person, more or less. So that's the other book I finished, and I finished my Italian book, Keith. So excited to get that done. Didn't really understand that much. I got some of the gist of it, but that'll be a reread later. The point is, I got through it, so it should be easier as I continue to read in Italian. That's the theory. That's the theory with Spanish, and it seems to have worked. So we'll see as I continue reading in Italian. I have to find a new book now. Currently reading Contactos Peligrosos, and I'm also reading Pequeño, país, which is just, I guess, general fiction. I'm reading that for a book club, and I'm reading that in Spanish. It's for the Language Learners Forum book club, which I was a little nervous because general fiction, I thought maybe that might be above my reading level because romance isn't really a lot of romance isn't written if you compare it to high fantasy where it's so Tolkien's Lord of the Rings, he's so descriptive and there's lot of fantasy elements, world building. Romance doesn't necessarily get to that deep of a level when it comes to the writing. So in general fiction, it's a huge category. Like, the writing style varies so much when you talk about general fiction. Anyways, so I was a little nervous that this story, I might not be able to understand everything that's going on. I also don't know how it's going to end, because with romances, you know, at the end, the two characters are going to get together and there's a happily ever after. But with general fiction, you don't know. So I was a little concerned, but so far I'm like almost halfway through the book and I'm more or less understanding it. It's basically about a young boy. He's half French, half African, and he's a refugee from Rwanda and living in Burundi. I can't remember how to pronounce country names, but there's gonna be a civil war in this country next, and it's his family life. His father is a white Frenchman who's kind of stuck in the colonial mindset, and it's basically just a little boy growing up there, a young boy, I should say. So I'm currently reading that, and I'm also reading this lovely beauty, which is thick. And I'm only on page 20, so I have a lot to go. It's an actual legit sci-fi book. Legit sci-fi. And then there's a couple other sci-fi books I wanted to pick up for. Alright, so my phone died quickly there. So just to wrap this up for this week, I'm also still reading The Korean War, which is the nonfiction book for the History Book Club. So they're doing a chapter a week, so this won't be finished for a couple of months. Like, it's short, but the chapters are short. And I'm not jumping ahead, so I'm just going to take my time with it. It's kind of fascinating. The Korean War is not something that's really studied, not compared to, like, World War II. Even in World War II, we don't go into what Japan did over in Asia, over in East Asia and Southeast Asia. This book gets a little into that. Chapter 2 is talking about the comfort women, and some of what Japan did and how that set up for Kim Il-sung to sort of become a revolutionary leader and then take over North Korea and install communism. There's a lot, though, that goes into this war that we don't really study. So I'm trying to learn more about the Korean War itself. I read a handful of books on North Korea, so I kind of want to get some more background into this. That was my cat's tail, because I'm surrounded by cats. Yes. So that's more or less how my reading has been going for the beginning of September. I may try to do like weekly Friday read videos. We'll see how this goes. But that's my September so far.